Mm, and actually, I'm going to learn a lot also. I know a little bit about it, but I'm sure you'll be able to shed more light. And so the question is, what are phonic books and should I use them for my kid?
Okay, phonics books. I love phonics books. Speech pathologists working with young children with literacy are big on promoting phonics books. Decodable readers is also another term that you might hear instead of phonics books. So I'm just having a quick look. So phonics is the ability the knowledge to sound out words. So knowing those sounds, knowing what sounds those letters make. That's phonics. That's the knowledge of phonics. So in phonics books, the words within those books are all words that can be sounded out, with the exception sometimes of those words that are often referred to as sight words. So they're sort of those words that don't follow the rules.
Right.
They might have the funny spelling that don't follow the phonics rules. So, and the readers are leveled. So you'd be starting at level 1, and often the sounds in a level 1 decodable reader book will be a, t, p, it, and n. So you've got 6 sounds, and then all the words in that phonics books are made up purely just with those 6 words. So they'll be really simple, short books to start with.
Okay.
They might have words like Matt and Tim. Tim sat on the mat. Those sort of really easy words. So they can all be sounded out. That's what phonics books are.
So would you
clear? I'm not sure if I've made that clear.
Yeah, I think it is. Well, I can try and explain what you said, and you tell me if I'm wrong. So,
yeah.
If I understand properly, you phonics books you have some sort of level of difficulty, and within the word that are in those books, and they are all sort of the same. They all have the sort of same pronunciation throughout the whole book, so that the child can really practice on that specific pronunciation throughout the book.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. And then so you'd start at level 1, and you might have those 5 sounds, and then you'll have the next step up, which will include your original sounds plus adding in a few more. So then you'll have, and then by the time you get to level 20, you've gone through all those 44 phonemes within the English language. And you are now able to decode words with any of those sounds in them. So it's a very structured program.
Right. And on another note, I had a discussion with someone who was from the Spelled Association, and he was explaining to me a bit about those phonic book, and he also mentioned the fact that, and I'm not sure if that's related to phonic book, it could be something different, but he was also mentioning that the fact that when the child, if you have a book, it's also very useful to have the image of the word. So for example, let's say you have cat, the word cat, it's also good to have on the other page like an image of the actual cat. Is that actually also in the phonic book, or is this different? Is this even a thing?
Yeah, it is. But we do tend, there's sometimes it still happens too, which it's a bit of a pet hate in the speech pathology world, that kids are sometimes prompted to have a guess at the word based on what they can see on the page. And that is not something I encourage, because then that's when we'll get kids come in for intervention, and there'll be a pig on the page, but the sentence says something about the mud or something, and so they'll say, oh, the pig, and those sounds are not even in the word. So we're more encouraging, look at the sound, say the sound, and read the word. So but for children, there needs to be pictures to keep the book interesting.
Of course. Okay, that's a good point. And so would you recommend this for kids? Like, would you recommend parents to actually use those books?
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. And starting at those early levels, and then progressing through. Often schools, there's more and more schools now are doing it, following what we call synthetic phonics programs. So that really structured teaching of phonics, of this is a S, it makes a sound, and then there are readers that pair up with what they're.
Right. So it's the same system of level, like, you know, from 1 to 20. And
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, and Spelled actually has some free phonics books that you can download off their website, which are quite good. There's Sounds Right has phonics books. Little Learners Love Literacy, and then there's ones. The Moondog series have phonics books for older readers that are struggling.
Oh,
So
right.
sometimes those basic books that are pitched for typically developing children who are learning, um, they're very young. So the images and what the story's about really isn't appropriate for an older reader who's having trouble. But there are some good ones now, the Moondog series. There's more, I can't think of them, but they're pitched at older readers with that early phonics skills still.